Our state law, currently known as the sealing statute, already requires police departments to seal the record when a person is arrested, but then found not guilty or the charges are dismissed. Even so, the police department refuses to follow the law and keeps the names and addresses of people whose cases are thrown out in a permanent electronic searchable database. That's why earlier this week, the New York Civil Liberties Union filed a class action to challenge the NYPD's refusal to clear its Stop-And-Frisk database of individuals who were stopped by the police, arrested or issued a summons, and subsequently cleared of any wrongdoing. But even if our lawsuit is successful with regard to those people who've been arrested and cleared, there's still a huge gaping loophole in the law. There's a huge loophole in the law for people who are stopped and frisked but never arrested or given a summons. This bill would close that loophole. It would amend the criminal procedure law to prohibit police departments in New York City and all around the state from storing in a computer database the personal information of individuals who've been stopped and or frisked by the police and released without any further legal action. Our lawsuit and this bill share a common purpose: keeping innocent people out of police databases that make them the usual suspects. The NYPD Stop-And-Frisk database violates the privacy and due process rights of millions of people who were unjustly stopped by the police. It's a shame that we need legislation and litigation to put an end to this practice, but that's what we need, and that's what the NYCLU and the legislators here today are about to do. Thank you. And now I'd like to introduce Hakeem Jeffries.
Thank you, Donna. I want to thank you, of course, the NYCLU for the tremendous work that you have done on behalf of law-abiding New Yorkers and all New Yorkers to protect their civil liberties. The NYPD practice of stopping and frisking hundreds of thousands of innocent New Yorkers, the overwhelming majority of whom are Black and Latino, is unconscionable. The practice of then putting the names of these law-abiding individuals into a permanent NYPD database takes a bad situation and it makes it much worse. This practice is unfair, unjust, unnecessary, and undemocratic. We live in a democracy where the civil liberties of New Yorkers should be respected. We don't live in a police state where we are subject to constant surveillance by Big Brother and the NYPD. The NYPD's database is like a scarlet letter that brands innocent New Yorkers with the mark of being a potential criminal. There is no compelling justification that the NYPD can present for placing the names of more than 1 million law-abiding New Yorkers in a permanent database that subjects them to the possibility of criminal surveillance and future criminal suspicion. We've asked repeatedly Commissioner Kelly to end this unjust practice. Commissioner Kelly has consistently refused to stop it. That is why we are here today. The state legislature must act to end this unjust practice and restore the balance in the relationship between civil liberty and public safety. I'm joined today by someone who is no stranger to the fight for civil liberties, for civil rights in New York City. Prior to his distinguished career in the state Senate, he had another distinguished career rising to the rank of captain in the NYPD. We're proud that Senator Eric Adams is the sponsor of this legislation in the Senate. I present to you Senator Eric Adams.
pecking order.
It's your legislation.
Yeah, but you know, you're still a
Let
congresswoman.
let me just say this. I'm really here to add my voice and to commend both Assemblyman Jeffries and Senator Adams, the ACLU, and all of my colleagues here gathered for recognizing what has been a sore spot in our communities for quite some time now. Let me just say that we were all alarmed and astounded by the passage of legislation in the state of Arizona that amounted to racial profiling of those who are suspected of being here undocumented. Well, for quite some time, right here in the city of New York, a similar practice has been taking place with New York City, New Yorkers, and U.S. citizens. And that is the unfettered practice of stop and frisk right here in our own city. For too long, too many New Yorkers have been silent as black families have had to grapple with the fact that their young sons are being stopped routinely going to and from school and shaken down, basically, to find out if, in fact, they're involved in any criminal wrongdoing. This is not the America that we all signed up for. This is not the America that our founding fathers built this country on, where we're presumed guilty before we're innocent, where reasonable suspicion and reasonable cause go out of the window. Today is the day that we stand unified in saying that this practice must end. As the Assemblyman has said, to add insult to injury is the keeping of a database of millions of innocent people. People who have done nothing more than go about their business and living their lives in our town, who are now put into a database so that in the future, should they fall afoul of the law, they can be referred back to. What kind of town is this that we're living in? This cannot stand. And we will not stand by idly as this practice continues in the city of New York. This is the 21st century. And if we cannot come up with law enforcement tools that don't infringe on the rights of Americans in order to keep order, then we've got a problem overall in our civil society. So today, I stand with my colleagues, I commend them in saying that we want to see this database disposed of. We want to know that it's been disposed of, and even further, the racial profiling that is taking place with this stop and frisk tool must come to an end. And we'll go even further. As these gentlemen submit their legislation, I will be looking into civil rights violations through Attorney General Rob Holder. We want to make sure that the civil rights and the civil liberties of New Yorkers do not go unaddressed. Thank you.